Hi, folks. We're back.
Hi.
Welcome, everybody. Yay. Just
Hey.
Cindy and me tonight. Jennifer not feeling well, and Beth otherwise occupied. Was going to try and make it, but didn't. Maybe she'll drop in later. Hard to know. But you get us tonight. Yep. We'll do our
Yep.
best. Windy Gettysburg. Yep. Kathy, we were just talking before this started about how the wind passed through
Yep.
Cindy, and
Yesterday.
then my Marga's in Illinois, and she was talking last night about how it was howling, and now it's made its way to the East Coast. So, yep.
Mm-hmm.
Susan, thanks. Yep, that's the music from the that we use for the podcast, but that's the full run song. Yeah, it's the only one I own the rights to, so nobody can complain. YouTube, I tell you, they don't play games. They whatever their AI algorithm is tracks everything down. So, but I started using the song for this because there was some update on with Apple with the iPad, and they changed the music, and then YouTube wasn't recognizing the music as something you could use. So it's a constant thing. Yep. Oh well. You keep battling. Uh, Sunday is supposed to be Amy Jones. Her company or business is Grandpa Cat, and it's an interesting story. She's from Australia. It's embroidery. But I am going to be in Illinois to see the new granddaughter. So I'm going to make an effort to set things up so I can post it over the weekend. But if you don't see a podcast show up Saturday night or Sunday, it's because I didn't get to it. I let the family obligations get in the way. Is what that happened. So
Understandable.
sometimes, it's the way it is. Well, but then in on the other side of the coin, Saturday I broke my stitch every day thing because I wanted the podcast to get done, so it would be up Sunday. So, but I would say there's about a 30% chance there'll be a podcast on Sunday. You know, family wins. And that reminds me, we're wanting to put together a couple of shows with questions. So if you have questions in anything about stitching, something that frustrates you, things you've learned, techniques, any question, send them to me because we want to put together 2 or 3 shows where we just address these questions. And right now, what we have is what I've put together, which is 3 things. So that's not enough even for one show. So if you have questions, email them to me, Gary@wetalkfiber.com, so that we can get them on the list. And because we want to do a couple, 3 of these just because we think it'd be nice to do something different. And yeah, so send
We
those
want to
off.
help people.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say before I got all flummoxed there. Also, we got a book coming up. This is weird. Okay, this is going to come off weird. All right, I'm just telling you, this is going to be weird right out of the gate. We're going to record probably in the next couple of weeks. There's a couple of ladies who have a new book coming out that they have apparently done some work on this, stitching and how it helps with menopause. Now, I'm going to be useless. I'm going to ask dumb guy questions because what do I know? But I'll read the book, so I'll have some background. But in that ongoing discussion about how stitching helps you with different lifetime stresses, here's yet another one. Now, I think most of it, I just skimmed the book, and most of it is more sewing stuff, but it doesn't really matter, needle and thread.
No. Right.
It's just, but it really surprised me because I got a couple of book publishers that shove books at me all the time, which is fine. They've proven useful. But this one came along. She says, I don't know if you're interested in this. Seems like it's a little off base for what we've been using. And I said, no, actually, I'm not. But I've lived through it from the other side, but I said I got to believe that from an audience perspective that this would be of interest. So
Mhm.
who knows where this stuff comes up. It's interesting to me, and these two ladies have put together, and from the pictures, it looks like, um, well, that's not going to come out right. They must have done a lot of research because in the picture they look like they're younger, like not quite to the menopause stage. But I'm a terrible judge of ages. But anyway, so they must have done some research. It's going to be interesting. I'm anxious to get in and read the book a little bit, just to learn what. And
Mhm.
they've got projects that you can do and they've got it tied into the menopause thing. So it's going to be interesting to
Yeah.
see what we learn from them. So, yay.
So have you ordered the RSN Stitch book yet?
The big white one.
Uh-huh. Or you
Yeah,
already have it?
they sent it to us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, the publisher sent me one. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. So, did you order it?
no,
Oh,
because I use their website.
go to the Stitch Bank. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I always have my phone with me.
right.
If if I need to look something up, I'm gonna do that rather than a big book.
Yeah, and
And
it's a
and
big
I've
book.
got it is a big book,
Yeah.
and I have a whole lot of books anyway with stitches in them. So
Hmm.
it
Yeah, it's a big,
yeah.
heavy book. Yeah, yeah. But no, that I found it interesting. Oh, Sandy, thank you. Okay, that's educating me a little bit there. So thanks for that. But Sandy did a post, and I didn't respond to it, Sandy, but it's not because I was ignoring you. She did a post about cross stitching on linen and different cross stitch techniques on. It was the one you and I did last Wednesday's show on, but
Uh-huh.
her post is on the YouTube channel. Check that
Okay.
out. But go back to the last Wednesday midweek chat, and Sandy put a thing up there. But I didn't respond because I was going to get some cloth out and do some experimenting with what you were saying there, Sandy, because I found that most interesting. So others should go check that out. She had two or three different cross stitch methods of doing cross stitch, and she was explaining how if you're doing it on linen with one technique, there's a technique she found that doesn't that helps you with tension and not crushing the linen threads.
Oh,
And I don't
okay.
remember it all because I read it and I thought, all right, I'm going to come back and study this. So thanks for taking the time. It was a long one. She typed out a long one, but thanks, Sandy, for taking the time to do that because that was really interesting, and we'll do something with that. I just haven't had a time the last couple 3 days to um, experiment with that. But yeah, appreciate that. Um, so back to that book. Yeah, that is one big heavy book. But that's the Stitch Bank. I mean, it's all there. The videos, everything. So I didn't understand why they went to the trouble to publish that book when
I wondered that too.
it didn't make sense to me.
Unless they they felt that there were enough people out there that would use this as a reference that wouldn't use their online
Yeah.
website. I don't
Hang
know.
on, hang on just a second. I'm going to put my headphones down so I won't hear you. So talk amongst
Okay.
yourselves. I'm going to get the book out so people can see what we're talking about.
Talk amongst ourselves. That's me talking to myself. Oh yeah, on linen. That is something that I do pay attention to, and also it helps me know if I have skipped a stitch someplace or picked up three threads instead of two. If I don't have that vertical thread to the right of my needle when I'm coming up in a hole, then I know I've made a mistake somewhere.
Where'd I put it? I can't find it. Where'd it go?
Hi, Kelly. Yeah, you can work needlepoint in hand.
Is it
Uh, You just need to be careful with your tension and the stitches that you use. So looking forward to seeing it. Couldn't find it?
Never clean up. Never clean up. I mean, that is one big stinking white book. How come I can't put my hands on it? I don't know. It's here somewhere. I don't know. I redid this room, and yeah, it's not the first thing I've lost that's here. Yeah. Anyway, it's a big white book. Huge. Big white book. Thick, heavy, every
Hmm.
stitch you can imagine. Well, not every stitch, but certainly 90% of them. Yeah. Didn't understand why they
And
did that.
and Candor commented that she likes paper. So
Oh, well, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes it is
Eh,
handy to have a book laying there, but
Right. But so when I go to the stitch bank, usually it's because I want to watch the video.
mm-hmm.
I think that's one of the huge advantages of that online stitch bank. I mean,
Yeah.
it's you can follow a stitch guide, up at one, down at two, blah 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 blah. But sometimes it's kind of nice to see the actual needle and thread moving through the ground cloth, whatever it happens to be, to kind of see the motion of the stitches.
Right. Well, I think that would, especially the way they did those videos, I think that's the real superpower, if you will, of that thing, because the videos are just superb.
Hmm.
And if you can't figure it out watching that video, then go back to cross stitching. I mean, they're really really well done.
Hmm.
So yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, that's where it,
Hmm.
because we're all used to looking at those charts, but sometimes some of those stitches, I don't care how well they're charted, they just don't.
Hmm.
The one for me is the Walnetto, which is not that tough, but
No.
once you do it, it's not that tough. But to see it charted, it's like, what? You want me to what? Yeah.
Hmm.
And then you chart, yeah, and I remember the first time I had to do that. I couldn't get it. I had to have somebody teach me, show me, do this. I did it 2 times. I'm good to go. Got it. Don't even need the chart. But you know, and I'm sure everybody has one of those stitches. So um,
Yeah, I think the last time I used it was for a surface embroidery stitch
yeah,
because I don't do much of those. I have done them in the past, but you know, don't do them all that often. But every once in a while, they pop up on something or other, and there
yeah,
were a few of them on that Sue Reed piece that I finished a couple weeks ago.
yeah, yeah. What do we got here? Kelly's working on painted canvas. Oh, took off the stretch. Oh, so
Yeah, I told her, it's okay.
yeah,
It's, I mean, I
right.
can't do it,
Yeah, I can't.
uh, but a lot of people do.
Yeah,
And some of it depends on the stitches that you're doing. If you're doing stitches that are uh, where there's long carries, either on the top or the bottom, it will be a lot harder to keep your tension consistent.
yeah, yeah, yeah. If you're doing tent stitch, make sure you're doing basket weave, or it'll
Right.
go wonky on you. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. I can't. I gotta have those things strapped down, and I strap them down, and I actually put a square on it to make sure that it's as square as possible in the frame, because well, I don't like if I have it finished, I don't like them to have to block it very much, if at all. I want it to come
Hmm.
off and be
They should be able to
square.
just stretch it around the
Right.
mat
Yeah.
board or whatever they're using. Zoriana, it's the Royal School of Needlework's new, I don't know what they called it, stitch book. It's based on their
I'm going to look one
stitch
more
bank.
time. This is driving me nuts. I'll be right back.
Is it in your cabinet? Surely he put all of his books in one place. Sandy, if I don't know, I think the best count is probably the count that your project is going to be on, so that you know how big the stitch is going to be, and how it's going to look. Okay, so Kelly only knows one stitch, so she's okay. Have you looked at the stitch bank, Sandy, online? This is going to drive him crazy. He can't find that book. If you just Google RSN Stitch Bank, RSN is the Royal School of Needlework, it will come up. I don't remember what the URL is, but RSN Stitch Bank, you'll find it. And it is more surface embroidery stitches than needlepoint. There are some needlepoint stitches in there, but they're building it. I think they're up to around 300 or 400 stitches in the stitch bank. So, and every year they add a couple times a year, I think they add new ones. It takes them a while to put it together. You didn't find it?
No, and there's a whole. I had a stack of books because Beth and I were talking about doing a video about several books, and I put them somewhere so I'd be able to. I can't. This just drives me to drink. You know, this room is not that big, and there's a stack this high. I mean, no exaggeration, of books, and I can't.
You'll put your hands on them as soon as we hang up.
Man, that makes me mad. Well, it's there.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the videos are good, Sandy.
Yeah.
And I think they they have the stitch charted, and then they show how it's stitched on whatever the ground happens to be, and then they have the video that shows you how to do the stitch. So they have on the website, there's 3 different ways to learn the stitch.
Yeah, and it's all categorized. I mean, it's beautifully done. It's really
Mhm.
superb. Yeah,
The artwork is great.
yeah,
The quality of the videos is really good.
yep. And stitch to stitch, it's consistent.
Hmm.
Like the treatment is consistent, stitch to stitch to stitch. So you get familiar with the approach, and then you don't have to relearn anything. It's like you just focus on the stitch. It's really good. Yeah, yeah. Cindy, I'm telling you, I can't. I don't know where. I mean, it's like 8 books, and that's one of them. Oh well, not gonna waste any more time on it. But yeah, it's a book. Yeah, somewhere right in front of me. Zoriana, you're exactly right. And the minute we sign off, it is gonna jump up and hit me in the face. I guarantee you. Yep. You know, but it's not the first thing that I when I redid this place because the cabinet behind me that got that
It's
replaced
nice. Yeah,
yeah,
it's
and
nice.
so I got a lot, and then the thing that was behind me that went in the closet. So I didn't go. I more than doubled my storage space, and in the process cleaned out a bunch of stuff. Look up around the floor or the desk. This is nuts. This is absolutely nuts. No, it's put away too well. Oh well, yeah. So, but yeah, I've spent more than enough time looking for stuff. Like, where did that go? Where before I knew, like I am not known for a neat desk, but don't touch what's on the desk because I know right where everything is at. Don't touch it. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Right. Right.
It's halfway down this pile right here. Got it. Yeah, I don't need. And then Marga's desk, there's never anything on it. Like when she gets
Oh,
done working, everything gets put away. Everything gets just so, not me. And I'm a pretty neat person in general, but when it comes to my work environment, it just I just I don't do it. And pretty soon I'll get to the point where I have barely enough space to work, and then it's all right, enough of this.
Right.
I gotta
Yeah.
open up the world. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
well, Candor can't find her scissors. Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, that I have so many pairs of scissors it wouldn't matter if I could. Oh, that you're just a you, you don't come anywhere near close to having as many pairs of scissors as I've got.
I'm sure I don't. Well, just a minute here though.
I I don't know
You
why,
know,
but
I got two other pairs laying out, so let's,
oh yeah.
add to the cause. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, I just like scissors,
Could
I
I have
guess.
carried to another room? Well, it's not Marga's office because she would have squawked at me.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I don't know. Um,
Oh,
oh,
Kathy, that's good. I didn't know you could do that
I didn't either. Ooh,
because I'm
now I
not
got to go back
left-handed.
and play. I got to go back and play some more. Yeah. Oh, that's good. I did not know that. Yeah. All right, back to play some more. Yep. So yeah, so it's a good book, but the website is infinitely better. Yep. Um, Fiber Talk Needle Arts Weekend. Got to talk about that. Uh, if I hope I was really hoping one of my hopes was that so many people from this Wednesday night group would be able to join us. If you're coming, even if you haven't if you haven't registered and you're coming, let me know. Would you send me an email um, and let me know? We're starting to get to the point where we need to see some counts, some head counts, and get that firmed up. So let me know if you're coming or register, one or the other. And then another thing that would be a huge help to folks is if you would spread the word. Like when we do all of our little posts, if you would, appreciate you liking them. A lot of people like them, but share them.
Sure.
Share them to your groups so to spread the word. We
Mm-hmm.
got a nice big room, and we'd like to fill it up. So, and then also note weekend and Saturday only, because we had somebody sign up yesterday, and she's coming Friday night and staying overnight, and then staying all day Saturday. She's driving distance, staying all day Saturday, and then going home, which is
Mm-hmm.
what we had hoped people would be able to do. So she, then she's home Sunday, and but spread the word. Help us spread the word. Tell other people, even if you can't come, if you can spread the word and tell others. Really be nice to fill up that big ballroom, and so do that. So it's $300 for the weekend, then $225 for Saturday only. But you need to if you want a room, like this lady is getting a room Friday night. If you want to get the event rate, then you need to do by February 18.
Which is
And
coming up fast.
yeah, faster than you think. And then
Hmm.
we're going to have to cut off registration sometime in early March. There's some flexibility there, so I don't want. Maybe I should throw out a date, and then people would feel like they needed to make it happen. But register, register if you have friends and you want to make a trip. Um, act on that. If you're within 3 or 4 hours of driving distance, it'll be the end of March. The weather will be decent or
Hmm.
decenter. Um, Come and join us. And we've got the 8 classes, and Kim's going to have a pop up shop, and um, we're going to have Jennifer there with Tamari, and it's it's going to be fun. So, but let us know if you're say I can't register till sometime in February. Send me an email. It'd be great to have a better sense of who's coming, head count wise. So we appreciate it. But and remember now that there's 8 classes, and they're all part of the same cost. So you don't have to pay extra to take a class. You pay your 300, or if you're coming Saturday, only 225. All the classes, as long as we have room, and if we have to do a class twice in the day, we'll do a class twice in a day. But uh, uh, you're not paying extra for those things. It's all just one
A-
flat fee. Yeah.
And if you don't want to go to a class, you just want to sit and
Yep.
stitch, that's fine too.
Yep. Nobody's
I mean,
making you.
that, yeah, that's really, I mean, really, that's what we wanted to do is just everybody to come and sit and stitch and share what they're doing. And uh, so we could get to meet everybody. And
Yeah. Yeah. I really hope I don't know that we've got just maybe one or two people from this Wednesday night group. See if you can work it out. Join us. It'd be really great to meet the people we talk to
we
every
would,
other week.
yes.
Yeah, it would be so much fun. URLs at the bottom of the screen there, wetalkfiber.com/weekend, and that's where all the details are at. And it's a document, PDF document, like that, looks like that, and it gives all the instructions. It's now, with all the details, it's like 2 1/3 pages or something. But basically, what it comes down to is you send an email to Marga. There's code words for each of the classes. You just say, I want to do for the weekend, and I want to do these classes. And you just put down the code words, and then Marga will send you an invoice, a PayPal invoice that you can pay with credit card or PayPal or whatever works. You know how that goes. And then she will send you a link to the hotel so you can book your room, and you do that separately. So it's real simple. There's no forms to fill out online or any of that stuff. And Margo will get right back to you with the invoice and the details for the hotel. And then if you're doing Kim's finishing class, which she put together this design in the Facebook group. There's a Facebook group for the weekend where you can go and exchange with people. Maybe you're looking for a roommate or somebody to drive with. You can post that in there. There's a link to this design there, so you can download this design. It's free, and then you want to have this or some other 4-inch round, 4-inch diameter round or square piece so you can finish in Kim's class. But this is just a simple little stitch. You just do it from stash. Kim didn't even put colors down. These are my colors. She didn't even put colors down because you're supposed to use your stash for it. So
Yeah.
I want credit. This is a needle and thread up here. I want credit
Yeah.
for using Krynic on this for the needle.
Oh,
It doesn't show up where the hood, of course, but
of
yeah.
course not.
Yeah, I had the Gayan Rogers piece sitting here with 14,000 spools of Krynic, so I thought, well, I'm going to make the needle silver. So, yeah. I wonder if Gayan gets like a commission off of Krynic. I'm going to ask her next time. You know, what is the percentage, Gayan? What is the percentage? Yeah.
Or she just likes sparkle.
Yeah. Yeah. But man, that's, on this thing, it's like every time I turn around, it's like I'm stitching Krynic, and quite frankly, I'd rather stitch the pepper pot silks. They're beautiful, but
Yeah, that's really pretty.
yeah. This is working out. Yep, coming together. Yeah. But,
Kelly's
I
going to
think-
sing and dance for us.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you have to do it a cappella. We're not getting a karaoke machine, Kelly. So a cappella. I'll bring a couple sticks and we can tap on a table to give you kind of a rhythm. Well, okay. So all right. So I'll add that to the list. Song and dance by Kelly. I'll add that. Also part of the cost. See, no charge, no extra
Included
charge.
in the cost. Yeah.
Right. Song and dance by Kelly. So that'll be good. Yeah. Okay. All right. Man, I wish I knew where that book was. Ivy, I missed a day. I missed Saturday. I was helping with the grandsons, and then I got home Saturday night and wanted to get the podcast video and all this stuff put together. So by the time I got done with that, it was like 11:30. and I wanted it done, and I posted it Sunday because I wanted to watch the football games. It was selfish. I wanted to watch the football games and not have that hanging over my head. So I missed Saturday. It got to the point where I didn't even care anymore. But other than that, I've been pounding away pretty good, mainly on this. And it looks like it moves slow, but there's a lot in these little things.
So
So yeah.
I kind of figure that it all kind of evens out because when I do stitch, I stitch for 2 or 3 hours or maybe 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so if I skip a day, I'm going to make up for it
Yeah. Yeah.
sometime later in the week.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. And it has not been 10 minutes just to qualify for the day. No, I have, and I've watched several movies, but we watched Ted Lasso the first time when it went through, and I watched, murder and mayhem are my kind of movies, things blowing up and all those kinds of things. And I just needed to flush my mind of all the death and destruction. And so I started watching Ted Lasso again. So this will be a second time. What a great show.
Really?
What just outstanding. The second time, even more. I'm enjoying it even more than the first time. Yeah. Yeah. You got to have Apple TV, but I think you can get it free for a month or so or whatever, so you can binge it. But what a great one. Yeah. Yeah, it is, Ivy, by far. Yeah. Yep. Don't have a magazine I have to put out. Don't have to edit articles. Yep. I'm getting used to it. Getting used to knowing that I can just sit down for a couple, 3 hours. And I did that today. I was working on stuff for the weekend thing. And then this afternoon, I said, I'm going to take 3 hours. I'm just going to sit here and watch Ted Lasso and stitch. It was kind of nice. Yep. It was kind of nice. Yep.
Yep.
It's taken me a minute, but yeah. So yeah, it is. Cindy, this is the most stitching I've done in a long time, and it's very nice. Well, Cindy and I were talking ahead of time before we started the show. It took me, when I started on the 4th, I think it was, the 4th or 5th of January, it took me, I had not stitched consistently for so long, just hit and miss, a couple, 3 days, and then nothing for a week and that kind of thing. It really took me 4 or 5 days before I got back into, mentally got into the rhythm of it and didn't have to double check and triple check everything I was doing. You know how you can just sit down and just start moving the needle. And I think that was it the most for me. My mind got going again, and I wasn't double checking everything, and I could just go and look at, all right, I got to do these road stitches in Kreinik. I got to do 10 of these up the thing, and so I just go. And yeah, it took me a minute, and then it's the momentum. I feel a momentum. I've got this thing. This is moving. I'm seeing progress. And so then the momentum, and then now I've had many days where, all right, I'm going to work on whatever it is till 3:00, and then that's it. I'm moving over and I'm stitching because I want to move this forward. And so yeah, it's been pretty cool. So every day it's been as a good thing. Yeah. Yep. Got to keep it up.
Was that for a whole year, or is that just for January?
For the year. No, it's for the year.
Okay.
It's it's full metal. Yeah. But I look at that. If you look at the amount of stitching I've been able to do over the past how many years, and if I only miss 10 days through the year, that's a lot of stitching. A lot for me. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yep. So.
Yeah. That's the way to get stuff done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just gotta do it.
But it's I just had so many lengths of time where I just couldn't do it, and then you get out of you just get out of it, and then when you start over again, it's like you got to knock the rust off, and figure out what to do. And uh, yeah, it came together.
Yeah.
I had a needle. It was weird. This is a what is that? Whatever?
Peacemakers.
Peacemaker needle. The nickel plating came right off of it.
Oh.
I'd not ever had that happen because when I was shoving it through and I felt, it didn't feel smooth.
Hmm.
And then I held it under the magnifier real close, and yeah, some of the nickel plating off the tip came
Hmm.
off. So it goes in the little plastic jar for dead needles. But that was the first I'd had that happen. Usually they get bent up, and
Yeah.
you know, yeah. So
Yep.
yeah, but and I've been using. Where did I put that? This is going to be awful. See, I should have never done this. I can't find diddly. Hmm. Never mind. These pliers I've been using, um, non-marring pliers, which I had out this afternoon. Oh, here they are. These things. These things are proving to be wonderful because Krynic can be a pain to pull through, and
Hmm.
that needle eye. These things are just wonderful. Non-marring pliers, and I mean these are regular plier size. There's two types: needle nose like this, and then regular pliers, and then these are a soft plastic uh,
Hmm.
jaw on them that you
Hmm.
can actually replace, and extras come with them. But wonderful because you can latch right onto a needle and give it a good yank. You don't have to worry about teeth scarring up your needle or anything, and they're full size, so you get a good grip on them. Because I have these little these little ones,
Hmm.
which are really nice, and they're a smooth jaw, and they don't mar the needle either, but they're small. You know, these things you can get pull it right through. Yep. So Amazon, unfortunately, like Mark and I were talking about that. Is there a place you can go other than Amazon? Most of the time, not. But you can get these on Amazon. They're not that expensive. Just put in non-marring pliers, and you'll see a bunch of them. But yeah,
Or
good
go
ones.
go go to Michael's or Joann's to their jewelry section.
Oh, mm-hmm.
Now, you might not find them that big, but they won't be as small as your little ones either. But yeah, they're used in beadwork.
Okay. All right. Same kind of thing then. Yeah.
Hmm.
But that's a good tool to have in your little kit of tools is a non-marring plier. So those needles that get hung up for whatever reason, you can pull them through. And Jan, good suggestion, but I can tell you right now, Marga only comes in here to visit. She knows where nothing is in here and doesn't want to know. And yeah, no, she would be absolutely no help at all. She, yeah, I've caught her a couple times walking by, and she just looks in, and you can just tell her neat Nick mind just goes, ugh. But everything's put away now. The tabletops are cleared off. It's wonderful, but yeah, it drives her nuts. Yeah. Oh yeah, I think Joanne's is on death's doorstep because that's the second bankruptcy they filed for. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, there've been a couple posts about how stores are just essentially empty. Um,
So I did see a post from one of the loose ends people
oh yeah.
that so Joanne supports loose ends. And in the month of February, you can round up your purchases and that money will go to loose ends.
Mm,
And I don't know if it was the one you talked to. I think there's two of them
yeah.
that are running loose ends. I don't
Right.
know which one it was, but she said that Joanne's is going to go ahead and do that promotion in February, but they don't know how long. If
Yeah.
they close, if they close after a week, that whatever. however long they do it, however long they're open in February, they will do that promotion. So if you need something, is that next week?
Yeah.
Go to Joann's and round up for loose ends. And for loose ends, for people that don't know, do you want to tell them real
Oh,
quick
yeah.
about it, Gary?
We did a show. You can just go to the wetalkfiber.com and just put in loose ends. But they're a group, and there are two ladies, one who lives in the Northwest and one who lives in Maine, I think it is. And then they have a database. You can sign up to help. And so if somebody needs a project finished, so you know your parent dies, was a needleworker, and there's this one piece that is not finished, then they will put you in touch with someone, usually someone in in your community or your
Mm-hmm.
parents' community or wherever it is, so that they can communicate with you, and they'll put you in touch with someone who will finish that piece. So it could be a needlepoint, it could be a quilt, it could be knitting, all kinds of things. But they have a whole data, and you can put yourself in the database. So you can be a person who will finish.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you may get in that database and not hear from anybody for months, and then all of a sudden something will pop up because it happens to be in your community or it happens to meet your criteria. But you can get on that list. So, but don't expect them to show up with three projects tomorrow, because that's, according to them, that's unlikely to happen. But they've gotten a lot of publicity from a lot of places in the last couple of months. And I think it
Mm-hmm.
was 2 months ago, might have been November, maybe, that we did the show. But look it up, and it's just a wonderful project. And on their website are stories of several of them really, tear to the eye stories about how somebody finished a piece for a special person in a family or a friend. People who get sick and can't stitch anymore, they're still alive, can't stitch anymore, eyesight goes bad, arthritis, whatever it is, and they'll arrange so that piece gets finished, and then you can, and they try to have it in the community. Then you can communicate with them, and it's finished. You can take it to them, hand it to them, talk about it, all the benefits that go for that. So yeah, it's a wonderful program. It really is terrific. But yeah, go back and listen to that show, and then of course, as with all the shows, all the links are there, so you can participate. But yeah, it's fantastic. Yep, those ladies are great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yep, really good. So, that starts in February. So you round up at Joann's, and then that roundup money goes to
Right.
the loose ends. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yep,
And they use it to, for their computer systems. They've started out using like an Excel spreadsheet or something like that, and I think it's kind of gotten beyond that. They've had to, spend some money on data management
yeah,
software,
yeah,
because there are so many projects and so many volunteers, and Robin is one of them.
yeah. Yeah, well, naturally they get a lot of knitting and crochet. Yeah, there's a
Right.
lot of that. And they have another thing that they have on their website is things you can download that you can leave at funeral homes or your church
Hmm.
that explain about loose ends. So you can do that community service too. So, I'm sure that funeral homes, I don't remember with Margaret's mother, but I'm sure that they all have some kind of a little folder of information sheets. So you can provide those, and then they can put that in there.
Hmm.
Um, take them to the church office, and
Right.
the pastor can pass those out. But that's another way to spread the word. And of course, if you're looking in your community to do some projects, you can help yourself by spreading the word within the community. So, yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
Well thought out program. Well, it seems to be really well run.
Yeah, oh,
but
yeah.
yeah, I think so. It would take an army to finish.
I think they have it. I don't know if there's an army here in Iowa, but
Candor at the post office, just shipping things all over the country. Trunk full of projects. Yeah.
hmm
Is there anything combustible in this? No, it's needle and thread and paper. Just ship it. Yeah.
yeah.
No, Candor, I think you don't qualify. You're gonna have to do them all yourself. Nope, you don't fit in the deal. Nope, sorry. Nope.
Yeah, maybe someday.
Yeah, but nope, you're on your own. Hey, these I got my threads. I put a picture up for the Phoenix band sampler.
Mhm.
Holy smokes! This has become
You finally got them, huh?
yeah.
The post office
Yeah,
relinquished them?
yeah. You know how you can see now. I'm swear it sat. Must have been 4 days where they just sat in the post office system right here in St. Louis. Like I could drive 15 minutes and go get them. But yeah,
Oh yeah.
these are beautiful.
Yeah. That's going to be really pretty.
Yeah, I think so. Yep. And they're nice. They seem to be nice silk too. I'm sorry. That's twice now that I've hit the microphone. Sorry about that. Um, but yeah, they're nice, fiberlicious, yummy fibers.
Mhm.
Blowing out there, too much light, but yeah, they're beautiful. So yep. So I'm going to be setting that. I'm gonna put it on the slate frame. I think I'm going to
Oh
do
yeah.
that. Yep. Yep. Beautiful stuff. I want to
Sandy,
get started.
that's a good idea to leave instructions for projects that are left unfinished, that just says, uh, download one of their flyers and just keep it with your stuff
Mm-hmm.
so that your family could say, okay, we want to have this finished. Maybe they don't want to have everything finished, but uh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes, it is. Fiberlicious.
fiberlicious, yummy fibers.
Yeah. Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers. And the website is fiberliciousyummyfibers.com.
Mhm.
Okay. So yeah, and then you just go there, and then they have a set for the Phoenix band sampler, and they say they die to order, so it's 4 to 6 weeks. But mine came a lot faster. Like they shipped within a couple of days. So I think that they've done a bunch. They've dyed a bunch of the thread and made up sets. So you don't have, when you see 4 to 6 weeks, uh, I don't think you'll wait that long.
Yeah.
But
Now
this,
I did. It probably was 4 to 6 weeks for my set because I ordered them almost right away,
oh,
almost right after the pattern came out,
mm-hmm.
and I probably did wait. I don't know if it was 6 weeks, but it was not as quick as you got yours.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was like a couple 3 days, and they were in the mail. It took
hmm
longer to sit in the St. Louis post office than it did to ship them.
hmm
Well, you probably were the triggering order. They said, "All right, we got to dye these. We might as well dye a bunch of them." And
Maybe,
so,
yeah.
thank you, Cindy.
You're welcome, Gary.
So kind of
Anytime.
you.
Happy to help.
But yeah, it's right there on the website. They have. It's real easy to find. I think it was $50. Is that
58, I think.
58? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So $58. It's all silk. There's 11. I don't know. 10 or
Now
11 skeins.
I think the model was done on 36 count.
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, that's enough to work the model on 36 count. I'm using 32 count, and they recommended some additional skeins. So I ordered another skein of every color but Phoenix, and that one I ordered 2 more skeins
Okay.
because I'll have to use 2 strands.
Yeah. And I'm doing 40 count, so I'll have
You'll
plenty
have
of
plenty
extra.
left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's a good point though. With these projects, evaluate that, because if you're doing on a lower thread count, make sure you order, especially when these are custom dyed for a project. Make sure you order more, because an extra 10 or 15 bucks to have a couple skeins that you may or may not use versus I can't get it. You get set aside and a year goes by and pretty soon you can't get it. You'll kick yourself for not popping for those extra couple skeins. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, and you're right, Sandy. I was surprised. 58 bucks. It's 14. I think I just counted 14 skeins. 58 bucks that for silks. That's good. Yeah.
So I haven't used her silks. I have used her cotton. She also dyes floss, and she dyes fabric. And so I was in one of her fabric clubs for a couple of years. So I got a piece of whatever she dyed that month every month
Uh huh.
for
Oh boy.
2 years.
That'll add up.
uh, oh yeah, but I've been using it, and the colors are beautiful. I know you don't like over dyed fabrics,
Not as a rule,
or
no, but
yeah,
these are nice. I mean, this is really pretty.
well, yeah,
Yeah.
and Black Swan has a little bit of color variation, but not much.
Yeah. Well, that's why I bought it, because yeah, I particularly do not like over dyed fabrics, but
Mhm.
Black Swan has a little. But sorry, I did it again. Like you can see it now,
Yeah.
but that I can tolerate that. But some of those, I just think they look like spider webs. Just never cared
Hmm.
for them. Never have. Give me a solid color, but that's it's
Yeah.
pretty nice. And I bought a yard. Did I buy a yard? What did I buy? Fat half. So I got
Hmm.
enough cloth for
Oh yeah,
2 or 3 projects, which is okay.
at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Northern Expression Needlework.
Needleworks.
Northern Expressions Needlework. It's an Etsy shop. Or is that Etsy? Yeah, it's an Etsy shop.
Yep.
Northern
Hmm.
Expressions Needleworks. If you want to do it, because we've all kind of got our threads now, so we're gonna get started on it coming up here. Um, the Phoenix Band Sampler, and there's a lot of specialty stitches in this, a lot of them. But she has a version that is cross stitch only.
Right.
So if you want to do this design, but you don't want to do specialty stitches, she has you covered. There's a cross stitch. You just buy the cross stitch one instead of, and what was it, 20 bucks? I forget.
Yeah.
It was not.
Not much.
No, it's a
Very reasonable.
download. Oh,
Yeah.
and then I don't have the beads. There's a bunch of beads that come with this, so I still have to get the beads.
Yeah.
So, and that's a decent collection of beads, I think.
Hmm.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, there's 9 different beads that go into this thing. So,
Yeah, I don't think you'll need all of those
no.
because she has the seed beads. There's 3 colors. Each of those 3 colors, she has you use 8s and 11s.
Oh,
You won't want to use the 8s because those will be way too big for
too
you.
big. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you might even want to just put 15s on
Okay.
and not even put 2 different sizes on.
Oh, just not even
So
mess with them.
wait until you get some of it stitched before you look for beads and
Yeah.
decide what you need.
Well, and that's we talked about that previously. That was my strategy. I'm just going to wait. But and you say, well, I don't want to stretch in silk. She has it spec for the Fiberlicious, Dinky dyes, and then DMC.
Right.
So you can do it. There's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 13, 13 skeins of DMC. So you can do it economically. You can cross stitch it. 13 skeins of DMC. You probably have half of them in your stash. So your ground cloth, and you go from there. And it's what you're doing it on 36.
36 count, and I don't have it here. It's kind of a blue, dark blue violet.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. 10.5 by 16.5 for Cindy. I'm on 40 count, so 9.5 by 14 3/4. So a decent sized piece. Yeah. And she did it on vanilla linen from Color and Cotton. But, yeah. It's the usual picture has nothing to do with how it, the actual threads. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with it.
Photographs and printing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. So,
Both of them
um,
are going to muddy the colors.
right. Right. Sandy's stuff's all in the mail. Yep. Yeah. Okay. Know that routine.
Yeah.
So I wanted to talk about your needle book because we talked about that last Wednesday.
Mhm.
But you did a really cool thing. You sent that to me today, where you had used pictures and you typed up notes from your experience doing that, and a lot of it had to do with how you finished it. And I thought that was so cool because when you look at that book and the instructions for making it, but then there's always little things when you do a project, no matter what it is. And I'm sure when you finish them, I don't finish projects, but well, first I don't finish the stitching, and then, well, never mind. That's a whole other show.
Yeah.
But then all the little things that came up with finishing it and how you put the little metal things on and everything. And so Cindy did a whole set of notes for that. And it was, I literally sat down, I just put my feet up and read the whole thing just to get a sense of what you went through. But it was just excellent. It was really,
Well,
really
thank you.
excellent companion to the stitching instructions you get for the thing. So
Yeah. Trying to help people not make the same stupid mistakes I made.
yeah, yeah,
Sandy, my fabric has been in my stash for a long time. I got it from Stitchy Box uh, several years ago. It is a fiberlicious, yummy fibers fabric, but it apparently was something that she dyed for Stitchy Box because it's not in her line now. So, uh, and I considered finding a different piece of cloth so I could do it on 36, but actually it would have cost me more to buy another piece of fabric than just to get the extra threads.
yeah,
And I couldn't find anything. Of course, always the issue of color on the screen. Does it? Most of the stuff I was finding was more of a navy blue, which I think it would be stunning on navy blue.
yeah, yeah,
But I really love that purple.
yeah. Oh yeah, you got a good color. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And she spec'd it. The one she did is was it vanilla, blah blah blah, vanilla. Yeah, 36 count vanilla linen from Color and Cotton, and there you can still get that, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just a couple miles from me. Yeah, but
Yep.
so yeah,
Yeah.
stash.
So anyway, I learned a lot stitching this and especially putting it together. And this is the reason that I wanted to do this project because this is actually assembled the way a book is assembled. It's and she calls the stitches exactly the same names as the bookbinders do. This is a French link stitch, I think, in here over the ribbons. And down here you do something called a kettle stitch to secure each page. So that's the reason that I did this. I just thought it was cool. Now most of the time this is all covered up in a book.
Yeah.
It's the spine is there and you don't see it. But I've been watching bookbinding videos. So
YouTube is
and
dangerous.
yeah, and the wool I got at the Woolen Needle in Williamsburg.
Yeah. Now
Or
you
not,
in your
yeah,
notes you
Iowa.
mentioned that your wool was more flexible than felt, right?
Yeah, it's a little floppy.
But see, I did not view that as a drawback.
Oh, no, I don't
No.
really either. But if you want it to be a little stiffer, then, you know, uh, you'd want to use. So you can see that that page is kind of flopping,
Yeah.
especially when it gets a lot of needles in it. It's going to be a little heavy. The These charms that I have on here are very lightweight. They're not adding really any weight significant to
Yeah.
the page. And then I have a page for beading needles. And you can see, that this pulls apart a little bit if I kind of tug on it, but it's secure. It's not going to come,
Yeah.
can't see, it's not going to come loose. You could break the stitches, I suppose, if you pulled on it too hard. And I have to kind of, after I've had it open, I have to kind of, put it back
Square it
together
back up.
because, yeah,
Well, but for
but
what it is, you don't want it too rigid. I mean, I think
no,
you want it so it will lay open and not you don't have to fight with it. So
right. And yeah, it'll lay flat. And the front is different from the back. I put some little sequins on it, and there are beads on it. She used French knots around the edge here, and then this is the back. So in the notes that I provided, uh, and we're doing this as a project in my face-to-face chapter, so which that's why I put those notes together. Uh, I changed some of the things because I didn't want to do what she did around here on the back. She did stem stitch around here, and I don't
hmm
really like to do stem stitch on canvas. So I did a back stitch and then I whipped it with another thread.
yeah, get the
So it,
effect. Yeah,
it makes a nice smooth line.
yeah. Hang on, just hang on right there. Your Gita, your Gita, is that right? Um, I'm pretty sure that she got her casket from Thistle Threads from Trish and Wynn. But send me
Mhm.
email, Gary@WeTalkFiber.com, and I will confirm that with her or with Beth, because Beth will know, and I'll send back to you. But I'm pretty sure that's where she got them. Quite frankly, I don't know where else you'd get them in the States, than other than from Trisha. But send me email, Gary@WeTalkFiber.com, and I'll get you a confirmed answer back on that. Yeah. So just fire one off, and I'll do that. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I just didn't want that to get too high up in the screen there.
Oh, that's okay. I hadn't even seen it because I was talking. Uh, so I put 6 pieces of felt in, and so I have, and that's what the instructions called for. I didn't actually add anything. I told you I was going to, but I didn't. Uh, and I have 4 pages that I don't have anything on. So I have room to expand. If I've got other needles, I might put some sharps back here. Sometimes you need a sharp needle, cruel needle or something like that uh, on those extra pages.
Yeah.
And the threads that I used to match my scissor case.
Yeah. I thought that was a cool, nice move. Yeah. Well played.
So there's the back of the scissor case.
Yeah.
There's the inside.
Excellent. So cool.
Yeah.
Well done.
So these won't travel. They'll stay here in my stitching area. Uh, I could travel with this, but
No,
I just
no, no,
yeah,
no way.
yeah.
No way I'm taking that out of the house at all. No, not a chance. Mm-mm.
So this will replace I had uh, my needle packets kind of in a little basket, and so now this will go in the basket with the scissor case.
Yeah. Yeah. Your Gita or your Gita? I'm sorry if I don't have that right. Um, I'd be surprised from craft shops. One is I doubt you would get the quality of construction, and I think if you're going to pour a lot of hours into stitching those various panels, that if you have a cheaply made box, you're just going to be really frustrated with it. So I would, it's like anything else. The foundation is worth the expense, and I would. Um, Trisha, the only one in the States I know of is Trish and Wynn at Thistle Threads, and I know that she would not sell you a cheap box, not a chance. And you might pay a little more, but I'd think real hard before I bought something from a craft shop for something like that. Plus, I don't think you get the little secret compartments either that
Oh no.
make it fun.
And in fact, if I'm right, I think they're made out of wood. They aren't
Yeah,
cardboard.
right, right.
So,
But
not to say you couldn't get yourself a little wooden box from a craft store and practice on it, but if you want something that is really uh, similar to a true casket, with all the little drawers and compartments, I think you're going to have a hard time finding that.
yeah, yeah, yep. So I'll get you that answer, and but yeah, think real hard about what you're going to put all that stitching on. I think you want it
Yeah.
to, you save 20 or 30 bucks up front, and then you regret it forever. So, because yeah, most of those caskets, once you get them done, that's a truckload of stitching. And I'm loving it. Katie, the Greenland quilter from South Greenland. All right, a new one. So
Oh,
cool. Welcome.
yay.
So cool. I got the name right.
Uh-huh.
You're
Great.
hey, look at me. Wow.
Cool.
It's almost as if I did words for a career, you know?
Yeah, but writing them is different than saying them.
Yes. Yes, it is. Okay. All right. Well, so send me that email. We'll get you the information. And yeah, if you're going to make a casket, don't go cheap. It's going to be a long time before you get it done, unless you got nothing but time. And Beth has a group, the two ladies, but Beth has been off and on with a group who are making caskets. So if you're going to get started with that, we'll connect you with Beth, and then. But there's I don't know how many there are, but I think it's more than two people who are working on caskets, and they get together online every now and then. And that's a good would be a good group to get involved in, and just stimulation, inspiration, all those things. So. And start out every gathering. Start out with Beth. When's your casket going to get done? That's the first question.
Thanks. I will, Yurgita. I will bring that and the scissor case
Yeah.
to the Fiber Talk weekend.
Look up Allison. Oh, Allison has them. Allison Cole. Her husband's a wood maker. Yeah, MDF.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I
Right.
remember her husband made that
Yeah. Hmm.
that one. We did a show with her.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, Yurgita, look up Allison Cole on the Fiber Talk website. That was a video. That was video only. Go to
YouTube.
YouTube, and you might. It was I don't know if it was a live show. I don't know. I just don't remember. It was a while ago. But look for Allison Cole in our YouTube thing, because we did a show where we talked about the actual box that her husband made and what he went through to do that. It's most fascinating, but you'd enjoy that. Yeah, that was really good. Yep. So that needle book. Okay, so now if obviously you build in some extra pages, so that's good, because I have this one that was made for me, which
Okay.
nobody
You
can
aren't
see
on the
it.
screen
Nobody can see it
because you're
because
not
I'm
on
not
the
on the
screen.
screen. When I get an engineer to do these shows, this is going to be really cool. But I had this done. I had this
Uh-huh.
needle book done, but this is done on this. It's really flimsy,
Oh, yeah.
and there are not enough pages. So I have needles front and back on each page, and I don't have them
Mm.
neatly lined up. But I only have 4 pages.
Oh, yeah.
So that's no good.
Hmm.
And so when you did that, and then you put in 4 extra pages, I thought, well played, because then when say have a couple of curved needles or different sharps or any number of things, you have a place to put them.
Hmm.
But then,
So
go ahead.
I didn't actually add pages. That's what she says to do, to put 6 pages in. But she says you can, put as few or as many pages in as you want.
Yeah.
Uh, and I had intended to add a page, and then I just forgot.
Oh.
By the time I got 6 of them cut, I was like, okay, this is. So it just happens that because of the way, because I have them uh, by the size of the needle,
Yeah.
so clearly I need more 28s because I
I
only
think
have
you do.
two.
Yeah. Yeah. See.
Oh, and so I actually I have a 28 over here. That one's separated from the other ones
Hmm.
because that is one of those expensive Japanese needles. I can't
Oh,
remember the
yeah.
name
You
of
need
them.
more than 28s. See, you don't have near enough. And then 26s on the 28 page. You just don't have enough needles in your
Oh,
book. You know.
yeah,
Let's go.
there's my, yeah. Well, these are the ones that I mean, I didn't empty all of my needle packets. I just emptied the ones that were, I had some in little boxes that were kind of loose,
Yeah.
and whatever needle packet tulip. Yes, that's
Oh,
my
yes.
the ones that are kind of segregated are the tulip needles
Oh, okay.
because they didn't want to mix them up with the other ones. I don't know why,
I wasn't
but
going to ask.
because they're expensive. I don't use them very often.
Do you use the same brand needles for everything? Peacemaker and Tulip for me. And I don't care. Either one. Doesn't matter.
I use Bowen and Peacemaker. I have some John James. I've still got some DMCs
Ooh.
from a
Wow.
long time ago. So
Oh, probably when
they're,
they made them well.
yeah. And I have some tulips. The tulips and the Bowens, I think. Well, I like the Peacemakers too. They're all really smooth.
Yeah.
The tulips are the smoothest.
Yeah. Yeah.
They just glide through the fabric.
Yeah. Yeah. Tulips and Peacemakers for me, and I just mix them and match them. I don't care. Um, those two, but and I have some Bowen, and they're okay. I never got along well with John James. I don't know why, um,
Mm.
but a lot of people use them. So, but yeah, once I got to
Yeah.
Tulip and Peacemaker, it was like, okay, I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah, those are old needles
Yeah,
that I've had for a long time.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't like the DMC needles either that you get these days.
no,
I mean, they're cheap, but they are cheap.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Buy some DMC needles and fray up some thread on that through that eye, and you'll go looking for better ones in a hurry. Yeah,
Hmm. Hmm.
yeah. I have no doubt that the old ones were well made, but
Hmm.
I don't think so anymore. That's why I was surprised that this needle that the plating came off, because it's either a Peacemaker or a Tulip. I think it's a Tulip. But yeah, it was like, really, am I feeling, that's
That's
weird.
weird. Yeah.
So, no, it's a Tulip. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's ruined. It's too
Huh.
bad. Oh well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, really, the tulip needles are way more expensive than the other needles, but really, for as long as you use them,
Yep. Well, they're your primary tool, for crying out loud.
right,
You know, a
right.
couple more bucks, worth it. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And I don't, I really don't throw needles away very often unless I break one. And I almost never use a, I almost never use a needle threader. If I break a needle, it's because I'm using a needle threader.
Really.
Yeah.
Hmm. I
And
use a needle threader all the time. I don't
yeah.
have the patience for threading needles. No.
but I do bend them
Yeah.
sometimes, and I think part of the way that I'm doing it is because I do wrap my thread around the needle to pinch it,
Mm.
and sometimes that'll collapse if you do it enough, it'll collapse the eye in, and
Mm-hmm.
then I pull the needle out and then thread that little pinched, you know, end through
Yeah.
the eye.
Yeah. 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 I just got tired of dealing with it and just bought a bunch of needle threaders, and that's just the way I do it.
Mm.
And I'm sure it's like everything. If I just make myself thread it without one, after a while I'd get good at it and I wouldn't go back. But uh,
Well, I have it's harder for me to use a needle threader
is it?
than it is to just thread the needle.
Oh.
I mean, sometimes it takes me a few times to
Mm-hmm.
get it threaded, but a needle threader is just one more thing that I have to, fiddle with, and
Oh. Yeah.
so I don't use them very often.
Yeah. Habit for me. So yep.
Oh yeah, they go through the vacuum cleaner, they get bent.
Yeah. That'll do it. Yeah. That'll
Well,
do it.
that's better than having them in your foot.
Yep. Yep. Exactly. Yes. Yes. Say thank you, vacuum cleaner. Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, you got me for Christmas. Speaking of that, needles on the floor. You got me. You and Beth got me this magnetic thing,
Hmm.
and this is, I mean, we all have them. Magnetic pick 'em up thing, telescoping pick 'em up thing, but this one has a light in it
Hmm.
that actually there it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, difference making. Mm-hmm. Under the desk, under the table. Yep.
Hmm.
Yep. Don't know where you got it from, and ergonomic handle, of course. You know,
Yeah.
because, but yeah, it's just a cool little extra thing, little light at the end. Yeah, very cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Hardware stores, automotive supply stores. That's, I mean, and Amazon, of course.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
Yes.
uh, I have a purple one,
Oh,
and
what do I have? Yeah.
turquoise, blue.
Yeah.
That was as blue as I could get.
Yeah. That works.
Yeah. So I
That.
and I have one in uh, my bag that I carry with me when I go out stitching.
Mm,
So, because that's, sitting in a library or someplace, you
yeah.
drop a needle.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah.
Easier to just whip that out and fish it
Yep.
out from underneath the table than get on my hands and knees, which if
Well,
I got down on my hands and knees, I wouldn't get back
wouldn't
up.
get back up. Well, and especially in a place like that where everybody's tromped through, and yeah, yeah, it's better just stay off the floor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Harbor. Oh, of course, Harbor Freight sells them. There we go.
Oh, of course.
Yep.
Yeah. So I watched a sewing video. I forget who the YouTuber is, but it's a man and his wife, and they both sew. They both make quilts. They
Mm.
each have their own sewing rooms. But he did a video. It was a Harbor Freight video.
Oh. Uh huh.
Everything in their it's actually her sewing room. Everything in her sewing room virtually is from Harbor Freight. And he went through, and so they have a toolbox that has drawers in it, and it has a cable, an extension that folds out.
Uh huh.
So I don't know, it's probably, I don't know, maybe 4 by 6 or something like that. I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't how big it is, but it was big enough that they had a large mat on one end for cutting, and on the other end they put one of those heavy wool mats for pressing, and that was their pressing
Oh.
station.
Oh,
And then they
excellent.
had a cup, and then they had a couple of those tables like you've got, the
Mm-hmm.
ones that you crank up and down. Everything's on wheels, so they can move things around. And then he went through a whole bunch of little stuff from Harbor Freight that they found useful. magnetic uh, magnetic rulers and magnetic power strips,
Oh,
that just clip onto their, because everything's metal,
right. Sure.
the
Sure.
the toolbox thing, and they had some kind of a metal divider that they used inside the drawers to make rows for their thread
Oh,
on spools.
yeah.
Uh, but some of this, certainly would be useful for stitchers too.
Sure. So it was the
And
video's a tour through Harbor Freight's inventory, basically.
yeah, pretty much. He had a handful of little pick tools that were, different different points and hook, whatever. There were probably 5 of them with little orange handles, things that look like about this big. They use
Mm-hmm.
them for picking stitches out of something. And I don't know if it would be useful for us. I don't know if they're fine enough.
Oh,
If you're doing something big, they probably work. I need to go to Harbor Freight. Look
yeah.
at them
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
I was amazed. I mean, everything he had on the table, like yours, he had the whole table covered with stuff that they'd got at Harbor Freight
Oh,
that was useful to them in their. Oh, one of them was a magnetic dent puller, not magnetic, um,
suction
a
cup?
dent suction cup dent puller for cars.
Yeah.
And he had 2 sizes, and one of them they use on their smaller quilt rulers, to hold down the quilt ruler while they're
Oh.
cutting. And
Oh.
the big one they use on their big quilt ruler
Oh.
to get a good grip and hold the ruler stable
Well
while
played.
they're cutting. Yeah.
Well played. Wow.
Yeah, I thought they had a lot of really good ideas. And then uh, I watched one of his videos earlier this week, and he took a tour through their house
Oh.
because apparently people have been asking about all the sewing machines they have.
Oh. Uh-huh.
In the front hallway of their house, both sides are lined with sewing machines in cabinets.
Oh boy. Wow.
So he repairs sewing machines.
Okay.
He he's a quilter, but he also repairs sewing machines.
Oh.
And so clearly they like to buy old machines.
Uh-huh.
And he fixes them up, and they all work. They've got an old treadle machine
Oh
in the
boy.
hallway. And
Oh.
then he went into his room, and he had a wire rack, one of those heavy duty kitchen wire
Oh.
rack
Uh-huh.
things.
Yeah.
The top 2 shelves were sewing machines lined up one by one by one. And then he had 5 or 6 more on a like an old cedar chest or something.
Uh-huh.
Then he had his work area for videos.
Hmm.
Then he had a sewing table.
Uh,
But when he wants to cut something out, he goes in and uses his wife's sewing room.
oh, okay. Yeah.
And so then the next place he went was in her sewing room, and she talked about how she stores her threads and they store all of their fabrics in plastic totes, and those were lined up on the shelves, and
Uh,
they're sorted by color, and
yeah. Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was pretty amazing.
Wow.
But yeah, you'd have to really start buying sewing machines fast to come anywhere near what he's
Yeah.
got.
You got a small
Yeah.
warehouse full, huh?
Yep. Uh-huh.
Yeah, these tables that I have, and the reason I have them is because that's what Kim has at Sassy Jack's. Um, little look behind the scenes here of, there's what I see. But these are Husky
Husky, yeah.
tables from Husky tables from Home Depot, and I have this one is a 4-foot table, and then I have 2 that are 6-foot, and they're all on wheels, and they're heavy duty solid wood tops, and then The other one's over there. That's where my magazine work used to be, but now it isn't. Um, but they're not. I didn't think they were that expensive for what they are. They're they're not cheap IKEA stuff. I mean, this is solid wood top, all finished, and then it's all heavy duty steel. I mean, they're built for industrial use, and you can put them on. You don't have to put the casters on, but quite frankly, it's a mistake if you don't. Um,
Mm.
but highly recommend them because they will last forever. They're beautifully finished, absolutely smooth wood, solid wood tops, and the casters are heavy. I mean, everything is heavy duty. So you can, and so I have the one along the side over here, the long one stays there. But then this short one where I set up so I can face the studio lights, that's the one that stays empty, and then I roll that in and out as I need it. And then my next step in this room is I'm going to tear down where I used to do all my magazine work and free up that table. And then all the computing stuff for doing all these shows is going to go on that table. And then when I need to be in front of the lights, I'm just going to roll that over. And then the other two tables will be all for stitching, period.
Nice.
But yeah, highly recommend. Kim suggested that when I was first setting this up. She said get one of these tables because that's what she uses. I think still uses, but certainly had
Yeah.
in her original shop for cutting, laying out bolts of fabric and stuff. And she said these are worth the investment, and they are. They are definitely worth it, and they're heavy. Each of these had to be carried upstairs in parts and then assembled because they're heavy duty. But once they're on their casters, you can wheel them around. You can lock the casters so that they don't roll around, and all three of them have a crank so you can raise and lower. And I have one downstairs in my bike room where I do all my bike mechanic stuff. That's just a stationary one height. I mean, you can adjust the leg height, but once you do, it stays there.
Yeah.
And but these I made them all adjustable, so I can stand up, have them at different heights. I've used the up and down quite a bit on all of them. But yeah, highly recommend. Yeah, worth it.
Hmm.
Yep. So Harbor Freight and Home Depot, Husky tables.
Yeah, I
Yep.
don't know. I don't know if the Harbor Freight ones were Huskies.
No,
They
they
might have
aren't.
been Harbor Freight's own
Yeah. Yeah.
label.
Harbor Freight. I've done a fair amount of business there at Harbor Freight, and they have a lot of good stuff that is economically priced. But do pay attention to what you're buying. Like I'm not sure I would be careful about buying a socket set, for instance,
Oh.
because I don't think they're as durable as say Craftsman or some of the major brands. And to me,
Mm.
if you buy a wrench set of any kind, you spend the money because the accuracy of how it's cut
Mm.
and its durability over the years.
Right.
My main socket set that I've had for, probably 50 years, still, is still spot on, so some of that Harbor Freight stuff, some of those tools, I would be a little, but if you're going to use it for needlework or sewing or quilting, any of their stuff is going to be more than enough because it's built for industrial work and
Hmm.
carpenters and machinists and that kind of thing. But
Hmm.
yeah, I got to look up that video now. I got to see all the stuff he found at Harbor Freight. I bet that's fun. Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
love to have one of those. Yeah, Sandy, that I'm telling you, the tables, these tables are fantastic. They are so heavy duty. I mean, you can sit on them. They're built. There's a big metal beam underneath them. They are built to take a beating, and it's one of those things that you'll buy one and then you don't have to
You're
buy
done.
another table forever because some of
Ever.
those IKEA ones and some of those other things after a while they get a little wobbly. These aren't getting wobbly, I guarantee you. There's just no way, just not happening. So
Yeah.
yeah, worth it. Yeah. Yeah, I look at those kinds of things. If I buy a table say from IKEA or solder or something like that, and then I know in 3 or 4 years I'm going to have to replace it.
Hmm.
Well, then what am I doing? I'm buying a Husky table twice. I'm paying twice to get one Husky table. Then just get the Husky table and be done with it. 10 years from now, what it costs really will be just trivial because it's still going.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. So,
Yeah, it'll
Inez,
hold
see
up to
ya.
the machine and
Right.
everything else.
Yep. Same thing. Yep. Bye, Inez. Ooh. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's we've been talking for a long time.
I think we're going to go too. We're going to follow
Yeah.
Inez right out the door. Um, register for the weekend. If you're coming, let me know. If you can't register right away, let me know so we can see who we can plan on. And equally important, please share. When you
Hmm.
see posts about the weekend, if you would share them through your channels to your friends to let them know, would be a big, huge help to making this thing grow. So please share and help us build this thing up. So that's it. May or may not be a podcast on Sunday. Can't promise. 30% chance. It's yeah. Family's going to win this one, I think.
Yeah.
We'll be back next week with a podcast. That's it. We're out. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.